Salam everybody. Before going into the topic of the osteotomy, I would first like to demonstrate the basic anatomy of the nose and its surrounding bony structures. As you can see here, that we are only concerned about this region because we are currently only talking about the osteotomy. So we will only focus currently on this part, the central part here. As you can see that this is the upper 1/3 of the nose. The lower 2/3 is composed of cartilaginous structures. So an osteotomy we will only talk about the upper 1/3 of the nose. Here as you can see that these are the two nasal bones. This is the frontal bone. This is the maxilla. Here as you see is the maxilla. Inside is the lacrimal bone. If you see the sutures here, we have the intranasal suture here, the nasofrontal suture, the nasomaxillary suture here. You can see here, I can trace it down. And then is the frontomaxillary suture. This is the frontal process of the maxilla here, going to meet the frontal bone here. So this is the frontomaxillary suture. The nasal bone gets its support from two places. One is from its base, which is attached to the thick frontal bone, and from its sides with its attachments to the frontal process of the maxilla. Osteotomy here has been done for two purposes. One is to reposition the base of the nose, and second is to reduce the convexity of the lateral surface from medial to lateral. These are the two purposes of doing an osteotomy here. To reposition the base here, we have to also do osteotomy at the base of the nose, while when we do an osteotomy to remove the convexity on the lateral aspect of the nose, we just have to do the osteotomy on the lateral side, and there is no need to disrupt the base of the nasal bone. Osteotomy is designed specifically on the thickness of the nasal bone. As you can see here on transillumination, this is relatively a thicker portion here. As we go medially or centrally, the thickness increases. As we go laterally, the thickness also increases. And as from the inferior to superior surface, as we go toward the superiorly, again the thickness increases. The purpose of osteotomy is not to go through the thick areas. Why? Because more force is required, number one, and number two, it is difficult to control the osteotomies. That's why every osteotomy is designed to go on these thinner parts of the thinner bone, as the cuts are more precise, number one, and number two, it is easy to do the osteotomy without enforcing any force, which results in lesser mucosal damage. So this is the purpose of the specific osteotomies, is to go through these thinner part of the nasal bone and avoid these thicker part. As you can see, this thicker part almost corresponds to the nasomaxillary suture. As you see, it corresponds to the nasomaxillary suture line here. So these osteotomies tries to avoid these areas. Another thing that I want to highlight is whenever you do an osteotomy on a thicker portion of the bone, it creates a step deformity, which is an undesirable effect. In thick-skinned people, it is all right. It can hide that step deformity to some extent, but in a person with a thin skin, that step deformity gives a very, very poor results. That is another reason why the osteotomies are planned in such a way that they go from a thinner area. They cross the thin area and we avoid to a thicker area. Types of osteotomy, everybody has their own classification, but I follow a certain different type of classification in which I divide the osteotomy into number one, into an incomplete osteotomy and a complete osteotomy. Incomplete osteotomy is nothing but green sticking, in which you manually fracture the nose on one side and leave the other side as such. But in complete osteotomy, what we do, we use an osteotome and we make separate proper cuts throughout the thickness of the bones. This is called as the complete osteotomy. Another classification, which is in my opinion a more practical approach, is to divide the osteotomy into three basic types. One is the medial osteotomy, in which we go from medial to lateral side, and the other one is, the second one is the lateral osteotomy, and then the third one is the intermediate osteotomy. We will talk about each. The lateral osteotomy are also of two types. One is the low to high osteotomy and the other one is the low to low osteotomy. There is a lot of confusion in this regard, so I am here to clear it out. In low to high osteotomy, as you can see here, this is the nasomaxillary suture. We come at almost the junction and below of the nasomaxillary suture here at the pyriform aperture, and we go up like that, and at the intercanthal line we go medially here. Again I will demonstrate. In low to high osteotomy, we start low here and we gradually move in here from the thinner part of the bone. We gradually move here through the thicker part and we turn up, crossing the nasomaxillary suture at the intercanthal line area here. In low to low osteotomy, we remain low. We start low here and we go parallel to the nasomaxillary suture line and we go here up towards the intercanthal line to later on join with the medial osteotomy here. The medial osteotomy here. Sometime also to thin out the nose and make the surface a little concave, we do an intermediate osteotomy to join the medial osteotomy here. The intermediate osteotomy here. We will talk about each osteotomies later in the videos. A low to high osteotomy is the most valuable and most used osteotomy, and it fulfills the desired requirement of repositioning of the nasal bone. It fulfills most of the requirements here. Whenever there is an open roof deformity while we remove the dorsal hump of the nose, a low to high osteotomy will help us achieve the aim. Whenever there is we want to achieve some we want to narrow down the radix of the nose. We want to do something to narrow down this radix of the nose. What we do is that we perform a low to low osteotomy. But whenever we perform a low to low osteotomy, a medial osteotomy has to be done to join the upper end at the middle at the intercanthal line here, because if we do not do this and we produce an uncontrolled fracture, so what happens is that there is a triangular bony spicule here, the thickened part which is produced and which causes a deformity here. So it's better to give a medial osteotomy cut to join the low to low osteotomy for a more precise result in this regard. One thing to remember is that there is no added advantage in going above the intercanthal line. It will not contribute to the shape of the nose, so that's why we do not go above the intercanthal line while doing osteotomy. Whenever we want to reduce the convexity of the nose on the lateral part here, what we do, we perform a middle osteotomy, the mid-level osteotomy or the middle osteotomy. And performing this osteotomy, what we achieve is that we change the convexity here to a more flatter or a more concave appearance. The reason why we do this is that whenever there is loss of convexity on this side, on the contralateral side, it is very difficult to match the convexity on the ipsilateral side where we want to some correction. So it is almost virtually impossible rather to produce the convexity on a fracture side. So it's better to produce a flat or a concavity on this side by using a mid-level osteotomy. Sometime what happens is that a double osteotomy has to be performed if we want to reduce the base of the nose along with reducing the convexity of the nose. If you want Whenever we want to reduce the base width of the nose along with correction of the convexity or of the nose is required, a double osteotomy is performed. We either do a low to high osteotomy along with a mid-level osteotomy here, or we do a low to low osteotomy along with a mid-level osteotomy here. And the one thing to remember is that when a mid-level osteotomy is performed for a low to low osteotomy, we have to go a little above the middle osteotomy part. In this manner, the width of the nose can be reduced along with the convexity can also be reduced, which results in a more definition of the dorsum of the nose here.
Whenever we want to reduce or narrow down the width of the dorsum of the nose, while we find that the base of the nose is of adequate size, lateral osteotomy technique will not work. In these cases, wedge osteotomy is used. We take the osteotome and in this manner we take a wedge piece of bone out of this area, and in this way the dorsum will get narrowed while the base will not. Thank you very much.
There are few basic principles of osteotomy as well. One is to always do interrupted dotted line osteotomies. It has a number of usage. Number one, it gives an osteotomy some ragged edges, which later on helps in healing and give good stability to the already fracture segment. Another thing is that you can control it. The dotted line osteotomy gives a control cuts, and thirdly, it avoids deep cuts which result in non-disruption of the inner mucosal layer of the nose. Another thing to remember is that always keep your osteotomy sharp. Use the smallest osteotome. 2 mm osteotome is the best. And whenever you're doing an osteotomy, always keep your osteotome in an angulated manner, not flushed with the bone like this, but keep it little bit angulated. This will require less force and will give more accurate cuts than if you use the osteotome like this flush to the bone. This will require more force and thus it will result in uncontrolled osteotomies. Another problem during osteotomy is bleeding, and this bleeding usually results from damaging these lateral branches of the angular artery here, which is going here. How to avoid this? Because when bleeding occurs, intraoperative assessment becomes very difficult, and later post-operatively there is a lot of edema here in this place, which again is not very conducive for patient and for the clinician for later assessments. And how to avoid the injuring to this vessel is that whenever you pierce, when you're giving a stab incision on the skin and you place the osteotome to the skin, first take the soft tissue and move a little up, and then touch the bone and come down. This way you can retract these vessels on laterally. So this will avoid damaging, and then you can achieve your osteotomy cuts. Again, if you pierce the skin here, you take the soft tissue, go up, then touch the bone here, and then come down, thus avoiding these vessels from getting damaged. So it will give a better cosmetic result and very less intraoperative hemorrhaging, and post-operative hematoma or edema will be very less. Thank you. Whenever doing the osteotomy, first the lateral osteotomy should be done, then medial osteotomy should be done. While doing the lateral osteotomy or the basal osteotomy, whether you are doing a low to high osteotomy or a low to low osteotomy, one thing to remember is always start in the midline, then go down first as the bone downward is little weaker, caudally, and then go cephalad or cranially to complete the osteotomy. While doing the medial osteotomy, always start from the medial aspect and then come lateral to join the low to low osteotomy on the lateral side.